Hello, I'm Phil Allison with Midwest Classic Cars. Over the next few episodes, we're going to be showing you some very unique special cars ranging in a year from 1913 up through most of the 30s and maybe even some early 40s cars. The car I'm with today it's a 1930 L29 Cord. The Cord was a product of the Auburn Automobile Company, and E.L. Cord was the president, and this was the signature car named after him. This is the first model of the L29, and it was developed in 1929. Some of the unique features are that it's the first production front-wheel drive car in America. All of the interior bright work on an L29 is nickel plated rather than chrome. In this instrument cluster we have the speedometer, odometer, gas gauge, and temperature gauge. Here we have our starter, distributor advance and starter. This is our glove box. Here we have our cigarette lighter. This is our map light. This is the gear shift lever. This is equipped with vacuum windshield wipers, individually controlled. Has just a very small rear view mirror, and the rear window in these cars is very small and also makes your rear visibility quite limited. You have an emergency brake on the floor. The seats in these cars are not adjustable, so for a tall person they're very difficult to get in and out of, where shorter people actually fit quite well in the car. We have leather map cases on each of the side walls, and then behind me there's a T-handle that releases the rumble seat to open it. And then we also have storage that comes in from the side right behind the seat. It used to be always referred to as the golf bag door because it's a small door, but it's a very deep cavity that you could put a set of golf clubs in. The Cord is equipped with inboard brakes. They're located just on the outside of the radiator shell on both sides of the car and fastened directly to the transmission, and then has universal joints for axles that go out and connect the front drive wheels. Some of the features that are unique about a car like this: the pilot ray lights are attached to the steering, so as the wheels turn, the lights lead or follow. The radiator has louvers in it that are operated by a thermostat that automatically open and close depending on the temperature. And then this particular car has a period correct accessory, and it's a Lalique crystal. And these, as I said, are period correct accessories. Very few cars have them because they were extremely expensive then and extremely rare now. Most cars, which are rear-wheel drive cars, just have a straight beam axle in the front, where the Cord, because of the location of the transmission and no place for the axle to be located, it actually comes out in front of the radiator around and is bent back around. It has 4 cantilever springs that control the ride of the front of the car. It does have shock absorbers, and the 30s era cars were, very well equipped by standards back then. The Cords were way ahead of their time. This is, as I said earlier, the first American production car. They're very ornate in design. You can, if you notice the mirror holders on the dual side mount spares, Actually have an Art Deco statue holding the mirror. All of the exterior bright work on the Cord is chrome. The interior, and we'll move into that here shortly, the bright work is all nickel. This is a Lycoming straight 8 inline engine, and it's actually positioned in the car backwards compared to all other cars. This is the rear of the engine, this is the front of the engine, that's where the timing chain is. It's actually against the firewall. From here forward is the transaxle and differential, and it goes all the way under the radiator, and like I say, it is front wheel drive. If you would stand in front of this car, this is the gear shift lever, comes up out of the transmission. It would be a standard H pattern, because most of us are all familiar with it. But because of sitting in the car backwards, we have this long connecting rod that goes all the way back from almost to the radiator through the dash, and it comes through the dash, and now the shifting is done in a backwards H pattern, and it's done by a push, pull, and twisting action. So pull it back, twist it to your left, that's reverse. Push it part way forward, straight, forward first, back second, and finally third. As I mentioned when we were inside the car, that on the back of the seat there's a T-handle, and what it does is open up what's called the rumble seat. And it's actually a fairly comfortable seat for two people. Once you're in it, you're obviously exposed to the weather, but getting in and out of it isn't the easiest thing. You have this first step here, step up on the fender pad here, step onto the seat, and then step down into it. So it's a little bit awkward to get in and out, but it's really a lot of fun on a pleasant day to ride back here. And of course you have the option of having the top on for the driver and passenger to be up or down. As far as the trunk on the car, this was an accessory. I think it's very attractive to have it on, but the only thing that came standard on the car was the luggage rack, which is down here, and it was normally folded in a position like that. But if you bought the accessory trunk, like this is an original Cord trunk, and it holds quite a bit of stuff, but the unique thing was that these came with fitted luggage, and so there was actually 2 hat boxes and 2 suitcases that were custom made that fit in here that would come out. Unfortunately, we do not have the fitted luggage. Very little of that ever survived over the years. The L29 Cord is one of my favorite designs. They were able to achieve the sleek look, the lower car, compared to some of the Packards, Cadillacs, and Duesenbergs. Had similar lines to them, but they were all taller. And I just think the L29 is a more sleek car. One of the other things that it's hard to tell on the camera, but this has a correct accessory on it also, which is the dual white wall tires. They're white on the outside and they're white on the inside. When we had the front shot, you could see that, and that really, I think, makes the car very spectacular. Well, this concludes the first episode of Midwest Classic Cars.